This is not a border or a frame. It doesn't bind us or limit us. This is a portal, an entrance to the whole world, and a means to make it better. Every place, story, and passion lies through here. And for more than 130 years, this is where we explorers and innovators have gone. In going, it has been part of our mission to give back, reinvesting part of our profits into future explorers and their passions. This portal is the threshold of the next chapter of humanity, where we don't just see the world, we change it. Come with us, and together, we'll go further.
Thank you to everyone at Responsible Business Europe. It's great to be here. We're really proud to partner with this conference. The power, influence and responsibility of brands is something that we're incredibly mindful of at National Geographic. After all, we're a brand that has purpose at our very core. Today, I'd like to share with you the story of National Geographic and its business model. We'll step into some recent consumer insights, then explore the 5 principles that we apply to delivering purpose-led partnerships with some of the world's leading brands. First, let me tell you our story. It's January 23rd, 1960. Explorers Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard, with funding from National Geographic, climb aboard the Bathyscaphe Trieste and descend to the deepest part of the ocean, the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, bringing back never-seen-before footage and critical science about our deepest oceans. Later that same year, Jane Goodall ventures into the forests of the Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania to observe chimpanzees in the wild. During her study, she made observations that challenged conventional scientific theories of the time, changing forever the way we think of our place in the animal kingdom and opening doors for other women in science. Jane was in part funded by National Geographic, and we continue to celebrate her achievements today. Fast forward to present day and meet Dr. Enrique Sala, Nat Geo Explorer in Residence, oceanographer and founder of the National Geographic Pristine Seas Project, which has spent the last 12 years exploring and securing protection for the last wild places in our oceans. To date, we've secured protection for over 5 million square kilometres of the world's most pristine oceans, and the work continues. And here's Steve Boyce, National Geographic explorer and conservationist, who's leading a team along the Okavango Delta to secure the creation of the world's largest national park, which will straddle Namibia, Botswana, Angola and Mozambique. The work Steve and his team are doing is building towards the United Nations goal of securing protection for 30% of the planet by 2030. And this is who we are, funding extraordinary people like Steve, Enrique and Jane. National Geographic supports the work of thousands of explorers and scientists whose work are enabling our understanding of how we can build a more sustainable future. Our media properties are the platforms on which we tell their stories. Over the years, we've amassed a global audience of over 800 million deeply engaged consumers who recognise National Geographic's commitment to science and fact-based journalism and are inspired by our superlative quality storytelling. Our model is simple. We fund incredible individuals to continue vitally important work. We share their stories every day to millions of people around the world, and we ensure that 27% of our profits are reinvested back into science, conservation and exploration projects. It's a virtuous cycle, and purpose is at the heart of everything we do. And we continue to monitor consumer insights around purpose, which have shown an interesting trend this year. You don't need me to talk about how 2020 has been a year like no other, and how events of the past 9 months are driving several fundamental changes on a global scale. We know that consumer anxiety about our environmental, societal, economic and political structures has been sharply increasing. For example, concerns relating to climate change have risen by 20% in the past 5 years. Since the start of the pandemic, we've seen a leap in these numbers and consumers reprioritising their values. We're seeing strengthened trends in public demands for brands that try to do good, with the number of people prepared to pay more for purpose-led brands more than doubling. Consumers are clearly favouring brands that offer environmental purpose as our thoughts shift to how we rebuild the world in a more sustainable way. This is a moment when people are unusually open to change and are looking to brands to embrace, support and drive those changes, to have and to deliver real purpose. As a brand that has purpose at its core, I'd love to share 5 key principles that guide us and the brands that we partner with. With our first principle, I'd like to share some work we're doing with a great partner that's really making a difference. Whilst it's well documented that consumers expect brands to stand for something, and that this directly and positively influences their buying choices, cynicism remains understandably high, and we all know that delivering real tangible impact is paramount. Last May, a National Geographic and Rolex-funded expedition to Mount Everest became the most comprehensive single expedition to this iconic mountain ever. The team collected vitally important ice core samples that significantly increases our understanding of climate change and the hydrology of our highest mountains and freshwater stores. The team also installed the 2 highest weather stations in the world, which now monitor and transmit invaluable data from the stratosphere. This July, our editors told the story of the incredible expedition and the importance of the science being collected, sharing it across our print, television, digital and social channels. Rolex also communicated about the work through their platforms and content partnerships. And we created an amazing augmented reality Instagram experience that allowed audiences to put themselves at the top of Mount Everest. The content has had 36 million views and has been shared 750,000 times to date. This partnership represents true purpose in every way, from the tangible, measurable science and impact work to the engaging content that's inspiring millions of people to take notice and care. Our second principle is an unapologetic confidence in who we are and our place in our audience's lives. A recent campaign with Prada is a great example of this. People of my generation all remember the much-coveted Prada backpack, described as the greatest travel bag of all time when released in 1984. Most recently, Prada have been working with their partner EcoNil to physically reclaim plastic waste, from carpets to fishing nets to clothing, transforming it into recycled nylon thread for a new, reimagined backpack. Nat Geo, with our authentic voice in conservation and sustainability, crafted beautiful content of the story behind EcoNil and the impact of its efforts around the world. We think that this is a great example of how, when brands are aligned to the right partners, the narrative shines through naturally and with ease. The campaign was heralded by Prada as a great success, delivering significant reach and brand uplift, and the content continues to be used in retail spaces today. For our third principle, let's turn to our work with another valued partner and explore how great storytelling can shine a spotlight on the critical issues of today. Reckitt Benckiser, through its brand Finish, is committed to raising awareness of freshwater scarcity and to promoting actions, both individual and collective, that can help mitigate its worst effects. The partnership with Nat Geo started at the very beginning, shining a spotlight on freshwater scarcity and educating consumers that protecting this precious natural resource needs to be addressed. We approach this by developing locally relevant storytelling. There is no one global story about water scarcity, so we commissioned a group of photographers and storytellers to travel to countries from America to Italy to Australia. Adam Ferguson travelled to Murrurundi, a town living under the most severe water restrictions and reduced to just a few weeks' emergency supply. In the UK, a nation known for umbrellas and wet weather, Charlie Hamilton-James highlighted how climate change and population growth is bringing the threat of significant water shortages. As well as highlighting the issue, our storytellers met with local water experts and shared practical steps that we can all take to conserve water. The message was one of education and inspiration, that together our everyday actions can make a big difference. We developed a rich ecosystem of storytelling assets rolled out across multiple markets: a long-form documentary, shorter-form videos, photo galleries, articles, and we partnered with the Finish teams on launch and consumer events. Initial tracking data shows encouraging results. We're seeing significant uplifts in consumers associating Finish with helping them save water, and an overwhelmingly positive sentiment towards Finish and Nat Geo partnering on this important issue. And our fourth principle looks at the power and fun of working with talent. Nat Geo Kids and Lego have been partnering for 4 years to bring children and families a partnership rooted in the wonder of the real world and creative imaginative play. The partnership aims to inspire kids to use creativity to help make the world a better place, because now more than ever children care about our world and want to understand how they can make a difference. National Geographic explorers are some of the most curious, creative, inspiring people on Earth, So we decided to invite children to pose questions to them. And here's the result.
Can we make naughty elephants behave?
We can. When naughty elephants try to steal food from villages, we use ropes and beehives. If they cross the ropes, they shake the hives and wake up the bees, who chase them away safely.
These are just one aspect of this year's partnership that sees Lego and Nat Geo inspiring kids by sharing stories of real explorers who've used creativity and problem solving to make our world a better place. Finally, what happens if you land all the devices we've taught through today in one simple, beautiful piece? We recently embarked on a partnership with Rwanda Tourism to convey to our audiences the diversity of wildlife and landscapes on offer in this progressive but historically troubled country. Tourism has been and continues to be a big part of remaking Rwanda. Our core message is to highlight the crucial and symbiotic relationship between tourism and conservation in the country. Building on this, each year Rwanda hosts a ceremony called Kwita Izina, where they name all the baby gorillas born that year. The gorillas of the Virunga National Park are icons of Rwanda and hugely important to this country. And the Kwita Izina is about connecting people more closely with the baby gorillas in order to ensure they're protected. Celebrities or notable VIPs are asked to name them. And last year, National Geographic photographer Ronan Donovan, together with the Nat Geo community, were asked to decide. And meet Intego, whose name means purpose, chosen because her life holds purpose in Rwanda's ongoing effort to save its endangered species. For me, this gorgeous campaign really represents all of the principles we've been talking about today, with mountain gorillas clawing their way back from near extinction and Intego's birth helping push their numbers in the wild to over 1,000. The campaign really had impact, driving all-important revenue to fund future conservation efforts. The partnership was completely on brand for National Geographic, and its beautiful storytelling. What's not to love about baby gorillas? The campaign also engaged and integrated National Geographic talent and our communities, enriching the campaign and increasing the interaction between our brands. So as brands continue to pin their colours to the mast and are seen to make a real difference, I hope these stories and examples have been useful. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, and our very best wishes to everyone at Responsible Business Europe. I leave you with a message we share with all our communities. Let's go further together. Thank you.